Genghis Khan was one of the greatest and most well-known emperors of the history. He was the founder of the Mongol Empire, which went to become the largest ever empire in the world. He was a military genius and he successfully united many nomadic tribes under his leadership. The answer to the question is no. Genghis Khan's real name was Temujin, meaning the blacksmith or iron. Temujin was named after the Tatar chief Temujin, whom his father had just captured. The title Genghis Khan was given to him in 1206 when he was declared the Mongol leader by the Kurultai Tribal Council. Genghis Khan means supreme, universal, strong ruler and lord. Nobody knows how he was look like. Of course, you may have seen some of his images on the internet or in the books, but these are not the true depictions of him. There are no records which describe exactly how he looked, so very little about his physical appearance is known to historians. The reason behind this is that none of his sculptures survived. However, according to many historians and writers, he was a tall, strong man with long hair and a beard, and with a great personality. The most curious description of the Genghis Khan came from the historian Rashid al-Din, who clearly stated that he had green eyes and red hair. Genghis Khan died in August 1227 at the age of 65 during the fall of the Yinchuan, which is the capital of the Western Jia. The exact cause of his death remains a mystery. According to some claims, he was being killed in action against the Western Jia, or falling from his horse, or injured in hunting or battle. His grave location is most likely around the Mongolian mountain called Burkhan Khaldun, but to this day its precise location is unknown. Temujin's early life was difficult. His father was poisoned and killed when he was just 9 years old. His tribe left his mother to raise her 7 children alone without any support. He spent his childhood hunting for survival, and he even killed his half-brother back there for not sharing food. He suffered many hardships, including slavery, before becoming the great ruler. After he came to the power, he started to form alliances with the other tribes and build his empire. He had a great talent that easily able to identify any skilled or experienced man to become one of his officers. In 1201, during a battle, Genghis Khan was shot by an enemy archer, and he was not happy about it. After the Mongolian army won the battle, he spent some time looking for the man that shot him. When the archer finally stepped out the crowd and confessed shooting Genghis Khan, instead of killing his enemy, Genghis Khan recognized his talent and asked him to join the Mongolian army. The archer became the great general and loyally served Genghis for many years. While it's impossible to know for sure how many people perished during the Mongol conquest, many historians put the number at somewhere around 40 million people, and at that time it was equal to 11% of the world's population. Many of these deaths occurred during the war with the Khwarezmian Empire. Actually, Genghis Khan's killings are partially responsible for making the climate colder in the 13th century and removing over the 700 million tons of the CO2 from the planet Earth. Genghis Khan was the most feared human of the 13th century. He created the Mongol Empire all by himself. If we talk about the torturing methods, his technique is probably the worst. Some of those were pouring melted silver down the throat and ears of victim, bending enemies' back until the backbone broken. And also the Mongols once celebrated victory over the enemies in a very bizarre way. They picked all the enemy survivors, dropped them on the ground and put a heavy wooden gate on top of them. Then Mongol army had a huge party on that wooden gate. They ate, drank and watched how enemies were dying one by one from the suffocation, pressure, and wounds. When we look at the Genghis Khan's achievement with the Mongol Empire, we cannot help but to appreciate his mastermind as a warlord. He defeated Jin's dynasty's 1 million troops with only 90,000 Mongolians by his side. Yes, he managed to win a war with the 10 times fewer troops than his opponent's army. He with his army had destroyed over 500,000 of Chinese troops before getting control of the northern China and Beijing. The rest of the Chinese army had to surrender to the power of the Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan created an international postal system to build up his communication network. He introduced the Yam service, which used the mountain couriers to deliver mail. The riders were so fast and they could cover up to 100 miles a day. By this incredible system, he could obtain all the information that he needed just by sitting on his throne. Yam could keep track of the political and military issues and also establish contacts with the spies for their kingdom. It is not a secret that Genghis Khan loved to have some bedroom time with all the different women. Whenever he will conquer new land, he will also get himself a new wife. He did that because he liked beautiful women, but it was also the very convenient way to demonstrate his power. Spreading his bloodline all over the Asia ensured the peace in the entire Mongol Empire. So how many children did Genghis Khan have? It is pretty much impossible to tell the number, but historians estimate that today around 8% of the men from Asia are his descendants. No one in the history even close to having such a wide family tree. So next time when you talk about the Genghis Khan, remember, he might be your ancestor. Genghis Khan became a national hero, being the Mongolian Empire's greatest king. He is also seen as a father figure for the Mongolia, having greatly advanced their nation. Mongolian People's Republic was established in 1921 with the Soviet military support, and country was the influence of the Soviet Union. And Soviets tried to eradicate Genghis Khan's positive side from the history books. They believed that Genghis Khan's legacy might be a threat to their leadership, saying any kind of positive side of the Genghis Khan must be avoided in public and school books. In 1962, the erection of monument at his birthplace and the conference held in a commemoration of his 800th birthday led to criticism from the Soviet Union and the dismissal of Secretary Timur Ocher of the ruling Mongolian People's Revolutionary Party Central Committee. However, this is no longer happening. When the Mongolians regained independence in 1990s, they restored to Genghis Khan's name as the greatest ruler in their history. There is no doubt that his greatest achievement is creating the Mongol Empire. It went to become the largest contiguous empire in history, and this record will stay forever. The Mongol Empire covered 16.11% of the world's land area, which is the 24 million square kilometers.